Our community action. If you're interested in participating, please call 264-9972. That's 264-9972. This work will continue into 2017 as we have hired 4 new canvassers that will knock on over 22,000 doors this year. We will be canvassing new areas of Kansas and continuing our partnership with Wichita State University to analyze the new data coming in and complete the project research for publication. The Water Access Program from Sunflower Community Action and KSUN, your community radio station.
Hope Incorporated is a local nonprofit corporation that is devoted to the needs of low-income people, abused children, the chronically homeless, and all disadvantaged. Hope Incorporated is having a shoe drive and would like for you to donate your gently used and new shoes of all types. These shoes will be distributed in developing nations. Hope Incorporated is gathering these shoes at their Northeast Wichita location, 2137 North Baton, located 1 block east of Oliver on 21st Street. We have so much and they have so little. All types, all sizes of shoes, all good to go. It's the Hope Shoe Drive. Going on now at Hope Incorporated, and by donating your gently used shoes to Hope Incorporated, your shoes are given a second chance to make a difference. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Hope Incorporated, 2137 North Baton. Change your shoes and change the world.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. You guys are checking me out live. Don't forget, you can always follow me on Twitter. That's at DrewDuncan83. Of course, the official fan page, the Full Court Press, is on Facebook. And don't forget, you can also talk to me live on Instagram at DrewDuncan83. Sorry, doing like 10 different things here at one time. A lot of stuff is going on around this place. I'm going to ask all of my colleagues to get it together. That apparently just means me. Floyd Mayweather taking on Conor McGregor last Saturday. Did the fight live up to the hype? You know, I was kind of like most people, around a bunch of my friends. First of all, I had a pretty good time. Went over to my best friend's house, watched the fight happen. The majority of everybody there, like most, was rooting for McGregor. There were some people that were, of course, rooting for Mayweather. I think more than anything, just trying to stick in everybody's craw. Look, at the end of the day, there's really only one way that I can really kind of begin to surmise everything that's going on for everybody, or assimilate what's going on for everybody here. All right. The bottom line is, yes, Conor McGregor did look good for the first 3 rounds of that fight. Looked phenomenal, as a matter of fact. But I think that when I look at this fight, and I've watched it a few times because I did record it, and when I watched those first couple of rounds, I felt like from the beginning, Floyd Mayweather was baiting Conor McGregor. He just did it in a different way. Regardless of whatever the tact is for Mayweather, he really just loves to allow guys to wear themselves out. And I think Mayweather figured out early on that he could eat Conor McGregor's punches. And McGregor gave him some good shots. And I understand that later on McGregor's like, oh, if there's a quarter inch this way or a quarter inch that way, well, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, bro. I respect the fact that after the fight, you know, I love the way that McGregor's approach to everything was. But he can sip on all the whiskey he wants to. At the end of the day, it really doesn't make a difference, because neither what he says or what anybody else says is really neither here nor there. Was it a bad stop? Look, I can concede to a lot of different arguments. Yeah, I really can. I could concede to the fact that some people will look at it and go, look, the man hadn't been knocked down for the whole fight. Let him go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he can maybe recuperate. But I can also see the antithesis of that, which is, look, it's still combat sports at the end of the day. And if you become target practice for anybody, it doesn't take long for somebody to get seriously damaged in there. And at that point, McGregor was not intelligently defending himself. That is the entire makeup of everything. You have to be able to intelligently defend yourself. That's the rule. You could see halfway through round 9 that McGregor's legs were already wet noodles, man. They really were. And a lot of that had to do with, once again, Mayweather baiting him. You start looking at this fight and you realize the reason why Mayweather turned his back to him was because A, he didn't want to eat a whole lot of punches up close. I'll give him that. And then B, of course, he's forcing McGregor to waste energy, to try and maneuver around him, to get into his head, to make him feel uncomfortable. That was the whole idea. To make him feel uncomfortable. He wanted to confuse him. He wanted his body to react the way that it's used to reacting, which is in an octagon. And McGregor kept saying after the fight, he's a very, very composed man. He even told Mayweather to his face, you're a very, very composed man, I'll give you that. Mayweather was composed from the beginning. Look, I get it. Mayweather was hit 111 times. All right. That's fine, but that doesn't change what really happened in that fight. None of those punches really seemed to give Floyd Mayweather anything that he decided that he wouldn't be able to continue to come forward. Later on in those fights, and we really saw it in rounds 4 and 5, Mayweather really started to dominate that fight up and down. Period. Up and down. Round 5, at the end of that, when we saw Mayweather give him a little something in the chest, I was very surprised that Conor McGregor didn't react stronger than he did. I really was. I thought to myself, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, really? McGregor's just going to take that. I think it showed that he was nervous. No, Mayweather wasn't looking McGregor in the eyes. He wasn't doing all that kind of stuff. McGregor was staring him down to begin the fight. But I think that when McGregor knew that he had lost round 4, that was when we kind of started to see a different approach. Now, to me, when I'm watching that fight and I see round 8, that to me was the best overall round for action that was probably in that entire fight. It was very close. I know a lot of people gave that round to McGregor. I actually gave it to Mayweather. And the reason is because regardless of what McGregor did, Mayweather continued to come at him. And Mayweather figured out his approach well into that fight. I think everything from round 1 was a complete setup. If I don't look at him, he thinks I'm scared. If I turn my back to him, I look like I'm afraid to take his jabs and eat his hooks. If I kind of hang on the ropes a little bit, I'm looking like the old Mayweather that everybody thinks that they're used to. I think it was all a setup from moment 1, period. I don't think that there is any other way to describe it other than that. And if I'm being very sincere about this, and look, you got to understand, I was rooting for Conor McGregor. I really wanted him to win that fight. I really did. But I'm not going to get on this microphone and become an apologist. It's not going to work that way. Conor McGregor was not able to dictate the last 6 rounds of that fight, period. He had no shot after round 3. No shot at all. And I remember very vividly having this discussion not very long ago. And I was like, look, man, Conor McGregor's got about 4 or 5 rounds to put this dude away. And if he can't do that in that time frame, then it is over. And I think a majority of us really knew that. I think a lot of people thought it was going to go 12 rounds just because they thought that Mayweather was going to do everything that people had been, quote, used to him doing. The one thing that I've been telling people for a very long time is that, when he was just Pretty Boy Floyd, everybody loved him then. Everybody really did. But unfortunately, when you move up in weight class, you lose a lot of your power. You're giving up power to other guys who are used to being heavier than you, who are already a little bit stronger than you are just generally based off of their weight. And so, of course, you have to perfect your defense. Pick your shots. Mind your time. Let guys wear themselves out. Only in this instance, Mayweather, I think, was a little bit more hungry. And he was hungry because he felt that he had something to prove. Whether he says that he didn't or not, well, it's for the fans. I just wanted to have a good show. And Mayweather said it from the beginning, I am going to toy with him for a few rounds, and then I am going to put him away. And that is exactly what he did. He toyed with McGregor, and then he put him away. Point blank situation, guys. McGregor was never really in that fight. I hate to break it to everybody. Once Mayweather figured out that he could take his punches, that was it right there. He had a set game plan from the beginning and never deviated from it. Now, look, I understand the rumors of one Skip Bayless talking about, well, hey, look, I think the ref saved Mayweather in round 9. If anything, it was in round 6. By the time round 9 was halfway through, McGregor was completely done. If he would have made it through round 10, I am telling you right now, in round 11, he would have been knocked out. Do I give my props to Conor McGregor? Yeah, absolutely. I think he did better than everybody thought he was going to. But I think that we're diving a little bit too much in the statistic of he hit 111 punches. Were any of those really strong punches? If you really were able to get an opportunity to see that fight, he never really popped him with anything that was really hard. There were just times when Mayweather was just too low for him, and you could see McGregor just fighting all over the place, just swinging his arms and just doing whatever he could, trying to hit him. And that was all right with Mayweather. All right, bro, you're missing in, you're wearing yourself out. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. You just helped his cause. I think Mayweather was just sick and damn tired of hearing the nonsense. I really believe that. And I don't think that there was any other way to accurately assimilate that than what I just told you. Mayweather he'd had enough of people getting in his face, telling him that he ducks, people getting in his face, telling him that he's not good enough, that he's not strong enough, that he's a chump, that he's overrated. He'd had it. And he dominated clearly at least 5 out of the last 6 rounds of that fight. Period. Like I say, later on in the fight, round 8 was the only one where you could look at it and go, I don't know. But he clearly dominated at least 5 of those rounds. And I don't think that Conor McGregor, let's just say the ref didn't stop it. Let's just say that it was a poor stoppage just for sake of the argument. Do you really believe he'd have made it past round 11? I mean, do you really think that? I mean, come on. There were instances during rounds 9 and 10 where Conor McGregor literally was about to just fall down, and the only way he could stay upright was by hanging all over Floyd Mayweather. He was done. He can get on a microphone and say, well, during training, those rounds, from 7 to 10 were hard for me, and then I would get a second win in round 11. Sorry, dude, I am not buying it. It doesn't matter how big of a Conor McGregor fan I am just not buying it, man. If you don't think that he didn't have wet noodles by halfway through round 9 for legs, and I don't know what to tell you, bro. Because it was blatantly obvious. No, he never got knocked down, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't in serious trouble. Well, a lot of those punches were grazing him. That doesn't mean that he wasn't in serious trouble. If he just falls down, if he essentially collapses, what does that do to the viewership? What does that do to the fight? What does that do for the fight fans? It does nothing. All it does is just show a guy falling down, he can't handle it, and after that, you want to talk about getting booed and people throwing stuff in the middle of the ring. That is exactly what would have happened. It would have been a collapse. And the ref would have had to stop the fight anyways. So stop it upright and let McGregor walk out of there with his head up high, or let the guy basically just fall down. Because that's how tired he was. And he wasn't going to go any further. That's all there is to it. Period. You're listening to the Full Court Press on 95.9 FM KSUN Radio here in Wichita, Kansas. My name is Drew Duncan. Don't forget I'm on Twitter at DrewDuncan83. Of course, I'm on Facebook at DrewDuncan83. And for anybody that's on Instagram, I am on there at DrewDuncan83. I will continue to take your comments on the Mayweather-McGregor fight. Want to know what you weigh in at, what you think was the scenario. Was it a good stop? Was it a bad stop? Do you honestly believe that Conor McGregor had a chance had he been able to get through round 10? Because at the end of the day, that's still a big question mark, isn't it? You do realize that there was plenty of time left in round number 10. And that if the ref let it go, if he just didn't collapse from his legs being so tired, I'd be willing to bet on a Mayweather knockout. And if you put him down, even if it didn't hurt, right? Even if he could have got up, let's just say he's probably too tired to get back up. Stamina is a thing, people. And it's all in your thighs. All of it. So I'll take your comments. When we come back, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this. Don't you dare touch that dial.
Hope Incorporated is a local nonprofit corporation that is devoted to the needs of low-income people.